Good morning, everybody. This is Jim Feist and Hank Goldberg in Las Vegas. Happy holiday to everyone. Hope everybody's having outdoor picnics and it's not raining on your parade today. But Hank, how are you today?
I'm licking my wounds from last night. I gave out bad information on Miami, and all the stories out of LSU were so negative about the problems they were having off the field. And number one, they did come up with a good running back to replace the guys who had graduated. Secondly, their quarterback was good. The guy they had taken over that job. And number three, they were well coached and well prepared for that game. They outcoached Miami, seriously. Miami looked slow. They were unprepared. They had all the penalties in the game went against them, and they were all good calls too. And they got called. They had all the offsides. They were drawn offsides. They gave up the big running play early, where they were just not in position. Their defense that was supposed to be so quick and dominating was not. And their quarterback did not make a good throw the entire first half. When the game was out of reach was when he made his plays. And they have a great wide receiver who he was missing him for most of the game when it mattered. And when I say they were not prepared, their play selection was terrible. And, they missed field goals, and they were shanking punters, punts. They were bad in every aspect of the game. And this was an important game for them. And this seems to be the thing with Mark Richt there. When they have an important game, they don't look prepared. Yeah. And you know what? In the second half, they came on and played well enough in the second half so that Richt and the quarterback will come back and play again, and they can say, well, it just took us a little time to get going. We'll be fine.
Well, that was a pretty ugly presentation they made last night. I don't know if they ever lived that down. That was pretty bad. That was about as bad as.
Well, they're gonna live it down because they won the second half. What does it mean? It meant something to the gamblers who played Miami in the second half, knowing that that's their way, and they covered the second half number.
Well, that's true, but very few people are going to walk away from that saying LSU didn't slow down and not try as hard in the second half. Bottom line is Miami was horrible. They were ill-prepared, poorly coached. Just everything you said was right. Everything you said was 100% right. They were totally
but everything I said before the game was wrong. I had talked to the Miami people who were confident, and the LSU people didn't say much. They had two quarterbacks who transferred. They had suspensions. They had supposedly big-time problems coming into that game, and everything pointed to a Miami win.
Well, the only thing I did right was turn the television off because I was wrong too, and I was wrong the whole weekend. I did not have a good college football start. This week, I mean, I was, but baseball was good. I'm looking forward to the pros. But when I don't do well, I own up to it and live up to what I did. It wasn't a good week for me in college football, but it was good baseball, and I'm looking forward to week number 2. You move on. You stub your toe, you move on. Miami was
well. I had Auburn, which turned out to be a very good play, and I had the under in that game, and I had the game that I lost. I had the under on, and I had. I'll tell you something. Alabama is really good this year. Loaded. He's got two quarterbacks who can play. They crushed Louisville, and I had a great stat on that game, in that I had two trends that really came through. Against Power 5 teams, Alabama gives up 12.8 points per game, and that came true against Louisville again. The other game was Auburn against non-conference teams playing at home is 33-1, and they were playing the game in Atlanta, and now they're 34-1 against non-conference opponents who have to come to them, and
Pretty impressive.
they're good. That Auburn LSU game is going to be good in a couple of weeks.
Well, after what we saw last night, you're damn right. That'll be a barn burner game. If LSU plays like they did, what a game that'll be. It's exciting. It's
And
exciting
the other game I had was the over in the Oklahoma game against FAU, and thank goodness for Oklahoma. They played just as, and they probably aren't that great on defense, but they sure can score, and they ran it up pretty good on Lane Kiffin.
They did. And there was some teams that a lot of people thought would show up, and they did not. How about that performance by Greer, the quarterback for West Virginia? That was incredible.
Yeah, that was my other winner. And they were just too much for that team. Greer is the real deal.
He really is. Potential Heisman winner there, for sure. Well, this is the week where we start the real season of the NFL. Lots of cuts, lots of signings. The trade wire, or not the trade wire, a lot of changes on some of these teams. Some teams got as many as 4 or 5 players off the wire. So, they really changed. And what about Khalil Mack getting traded from Oakland? I mean, I know he asked for a lot of money, but that's a hell of a player.
Oakland went from 20-1 to 40-1, and the Bears went from 80-1 to 40-1 with that trade. And I'll tell you something. The Raiders' season went right down the tubes. Although their future, they got 2 number 1 draft picks. But I don't think Gruden was too happy with the deal, and he certainly didn't look all that thrilled when he was interviewed with it. And you got to wonder about the Raiders' front office and what's going on there. But they did pick up C.J. McCarron to back up the quarterback there, which was something they needed badly. And Buffalo is going to start the season with that quarterback who had that one horrible game last year, and he's going to be the starter. And they go against Baltimore in the first week, and Baltimore should have it their way with them. Although and I'll tell you something, Philadelphia's schedule early in the season is going to be very tough, but Atlanta's schedule is brutal. Atlanta starts off at Philadelphia Thursday, and then the next 2 weeks after that, I think they have Carolina, who they open with at home, and then, if I'm not mistaken, they play New Orleans week 3.
Wow.
And that's a killer schedule.
It is.
I'm sorry. I think they may be at Pittsburgh in week 3.
That's not easy either.
No.
That is brutal. Well, you got.
And by the way, Pittsburgh is going to have to open at Cleveland, and they don't have Bell. He's still unsigned.
Wow. Well, Cleveland. Let's talk a little bit about Cleveland. Everybody was saying that their roster, the players they have, there's a lot of talent. But I'll tell you, that is one dysfunctional organization. Can they get beyond that dysfunctional organization? They just are a screwed up management team there. Can they get beyond that? I mean, they haven't been able to for a long, long time. 1-31 coming into the season. Hugh Jackson is still there. I can't believe that. Do you think there's a turnaround coming, or it's just a mirage?
They were 2-4 against the spread at the end of the season last year, and one of those twos was against Pittsburgh. They have good defense. They help their coaching staff a lot with the 2 coordinators that they hired, and so they got Williams, who's going to coach their defense this year, and and they got the offensive coordinator from Pittsburgh. So their coaching staff has been upgraded significantly. They really helped their offensive team with the players that they picked up, and I think they're going to be competitive in most games. So they're not going to be a pushover. Now, whether they can win more than 6 games or not, I wouldn't go there. A team that had coming off 1 win in 2 years, that's a significant improvement.
Yeah, they play 6 games against Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, and Baltimore. None of those games are going to be easy. Yeah, you can win 1 or 2 of them. Yes, it's possible. But Hugh Jackson has got to prove himself. I mean, this is a guy that blew a lot of games last year. That in late in games, they had Kaiser there. You know, now they have Taylor. That's an upgrade. At least he's not going to turn the ball over as much. That's for sure. So that could make a difference. And the 2 coordinators do make a difference. So there's a lot. The roster, I see 5 or 6 wins out of their roster. I just don't know if they can get by the dysfunction that seems to go on with that team. I can't explain it.
Now it's not dysfunction because it's going to be everything's on the field. And, you know, as I said, their coaching staff has significantly upgraded. So, you know, that part of it, you know, the dysfunction has always been with the owner and the moves that they've made. So, yeah, they got it. The quarterback in the draft, it looks like he's going to be pretty good. And they're going to let him start the season by watching. And I think Tyrod is a decent quarterback, so we'll see what happens.
Be interesting to see. Now, there's been some money on that. It was like a 6.5 point line. I think it's down to 4 now. A lot of money just like last year. All the sharps bet Cleveland every week and lost their ass. but the money's coming in on Cleveland again this week. And you mentioned Baltimore. Yeah, the money's come in on Baltimore as well. So.
Well, I made a small play on Baltimore at 15-1 to win the conference.
I'm with you on that. I see them with a great possibility of winning the conference and the, actually going to the AFC Championship. They could possibly go there. They have a team, and they got coaching. They got a team. They got a quarterback that seems to have stepped up his game this year so far. So, you're getting a good price. And not that we're saying that they're going to do it, but when you get a good price, you go for the value. And there was some value. It's pretty much disappearing now, but there was some value there. Anything else that you're looking forward to this weekend? Anything in college and baseball? Baseball is really exciting now. You got some great pennant races going on.
Well, the Yankees and the Red Sox have both been slumping at the same time. The Dodgers have really come on out west. They're playing great ball right now. Although their closer, he had a good game the other night, but he's got this problem with heart rhythm. That's something I fought for years, and there's medication they can take to treat that. But that's something to keep an eye on with him.
That's scary stuff when you start talking about heart stuff. Boy, that's very scary. But there's some great games today. A lot of great matchups today in baseball. We got the Thursday night game coming where Foles is going to start now for Philadelphia. That's been announced. Of course, we all knew it anyway. And Atlanta, they're at home. Philadelphia's at home to Atlanta on Thursday. That's the first game of the year. And then, of course, we've got a big matchup with Houston and New England on Sunday. That's a big one. You got the Baltimore-Buffalo game. You got Tampa Bay with the backup quarterback going to New Orleans. There's so much good stuff, and then we got the 2 Monday night games. It's football time again, and then we'll have another weekend of college football, and I guarantee you I'm going to do better than I did this week. I was not good this week in college football. But
I would have had a huge weekend if it hadn't been for the LSU Miami game, and I've learned my lesson on that one. So hopefully, hey, I guess 67%. I'll take it every week, I guess.
Hey, never complain about that. Hank's plays and my plays are at jimfeist.com. Stay tuned for more podcasts all week long. Hank and I will be back on here on Wednesday. Hank, have a great day. Thank you for tuning in. Thanks, Hank.